I focused deeply as I saw the building grow nearer. The only problem was I was beginning to grow tired. I had never used as much of my power for this long, making my body grow weaker and weaker, making our route more wobbly. Eyes threatening to close, I kept my mind on the prize. That was all until I heard a loud, "Lynn!" Midoriya was shouting to me, so I turned my attention towards him. "Grab my unbroken foot. I've got an idea," he told me, lifting the only limb that was still intact to my reach. I yawned before shaking my head. "No way, Midoriya. You must be in so much pain right now. Dad, I can't let you break any more bones." He mimicked me and shook his head before kicking his foot up and forcing it into my free hand, causing us to suddenly stop and start falling. At this point, I was so tired and sore that I just fluttered my eyes closed and let the air grasp out of me, throwing me to my fate below. I suddenly felt the leg wrap around my waist, making me focus on what was going on. Midori had wrapped the only secure limb around me in a weird way before powering it up. My arm was now in a position to be in a catapult. He screamed at me to let go of his foot, so I obeyed and did so. Midoriya's POV. I felt us fly back from the force of my leg. By this point, she had grabbed onto my waist and hugged me before slowly snoring. Did she fall asleep? We were catapulted right up to the building, the top at least, and landed with a thud. Lynn was now sprawled out on the ground, asleep. How and still? I don't know. I was lying near her, unable to move in the pain. There was nothing we could do unless she woke up and somehow got us to the hospital. My limbs hurt greatly, which didn't help the situation. I screeched at her with all my energy. "Lynn! Lynn!" I saw her head fling up luckily, and she was spitting her hair out of her mouth while adjusting her eyes to the light. She looked as if she'd been out for hours. "Lynn, we need to get to a hospital right now," I told her, and the only response I received was a nod, short and brief. I felt her soft, tired arms wrap around me as she dragged us to the elevator and pressed a button to get us to the ground floor. Luckily, this building only had 32 floors, which another part was unlucky. As we went down, I stuttered out towards her. "Thank you." In the sudden feeling of self-consciousness, I received no response. She just stood there, staring at the wall through her eyelashes. That must be the downside to her quirk. She can get really tired if she uses it too much. As we hit the bottom floor, the ding woke her up, and she carried us out to the street. We were drenched in blood, sweat, and tears. Of course this would attract attention as people began to gather and call for help. I looked at the girl, lying on the ground next to me, slowly falling asleep, as I could feel my eyelids grow heavy too, and the sirens, the voices, turning into white noise that seemingly went to nothing. Color surrounded me as I had my vision returned. I looked down, and I was all bandaged up, like before. But suddenly, I could hear the voices of people. "You'll be fine by tomorrow as long as he stays here the night." The person talking sounded like recovery girl. I thought she worked at the school. The girl? Oh, her energy levels were dangerously low. It was like she ran out of stamina, but she kept trying to use energy she didn't even have. I looked to my right, knowing who the girl was. Small snores became noticeable as I focused on her. The way her hair locks were messed up and all tangled, and her side was covered in stitches. It made me feel horrible. This girl, who I barely knew, almost died to save my life. Why, though? She could have easily gone back downstairs and pretended as if she saw nothing. It had to be guilt that triggered her to jump out. I felt a tiny bit of pain now, but it wasn't as bad as it was before. Seeing crutches, they must have known I could walk if I used them. I quickly rose myself out of the bed and made my way over towards her. I know you can't hear me right now, but thank you. Again, I stuttered out, seeing the girl who should really be in pain if she woke up. I'm sorry that I can help, and I got you stuck in this with me. This whole mess. I was beginning to slightly cry as I leaned over and rested my head on her stomach, not being able to hug her, though I didn't put much pressure. What if she was in pain because of me? She would probably find this weird, but I'm glad she was asleep. I suddenly felt something tug at my hair, like small fingers were running through it. It's all right, Midoriya. I got to be closer to you, and I got to show my real strength. That's all that matters to me. I seemingly froze. I didn't need to look at her to know a small smile formed from her lips as she continued to stroke my monstrous of locks. What happened yesterday is something I will never forget. Just remember how I was attacked so suddenly, scared the life out of me. Is it safe to say that I never want to go on a rooftop ever again? I would say definitely yes. And don't cry, Midoriya. Her gentle words filled my thoughts. Everything will be back to normal by tomorrow. The truth was, she was right, like always. Everything was going to be all right, and everything was going to be normal tomorrow. The only thing that will never be normal again is the memory of what happened on the night of a supposedly normal meetup group with some friends. Oh.